Yep.
um,
Feels
okay.
right.
Welcome back to Chess Club. Today's episode 10. We're recording this on October 31st, Halloween, right before the 2020 election on Tuesday. One last shuffle on Monday in the markets, and then that's going to be it. But it's a big moment in history. 2020 election, bro. That's like a historical moment so far already.
It feels like a normal election to me, man.
Feels like
Everyone's
how
kind
many
of
how many elections have you experienced?
like 3, 2,
Three, two, 3.
like that I remember.
That
I remember the
that you
first
even
time
remember.
Obama.
You weren't even like societally conscious the first two.
No, I definitely was, because I remember the first time Obama got into office. I remember like we did like mock class elections, and I was like one of 4 kids that voted for Romney.
Yeah. I remember when I was in middle school, this girl I was crushing on, she walked up to me and she said, "Hey, do you like Obama?" And I was like, "Not really." And she was like, "Ah!" And like literally turned around on a dime and like walked the other direction. I was so shook, bro. I felt shell
Oh
shocked from
man.
that experience.
Yeah. But I don't know. So I remember the Obama Romney election very vividly, but I don't remember Obama's second term election at all.
I remember that one even more clearly because Obama had that 2 terms meme.
Yeah, see, I don't remember any of that.
No, it was like
Just a black hole. Ironic. Funny. Get it? Because he's
oh.
black.
One last thing before we actually get to the deep matter. Anytime my phone goes off, think of that as a light bulb. Just keep that in mind. But first and foremost, okay, so what do you want to talk about first? We don't have to do this in order.
Let me take a quick look.
Since we're already on the 2020 election, we can talk about Biden campaigning in our state. If you want.
Yeah. So last that I saw, so I just found out that he was campaigning here from you. That if that doesn't say something about his campaign, I don't know what does.
Keep in mind the election is like 3 days away.
Yeah. So last I saw was that he was campaigning in Texas, and there was a convoy of like 200 Trump waving flag trucks following their bus around the whole time. And that was all I heard about him campaigning.
Did you see the news about Texas voting blue this year?
They're not voting blue this
They're
year.
not voting blue this year. But Minnesota has voted blue for like 46 years. I think it's 46 years. I'm probably
something
wrong.
like that.
A long time. And why is Biden campaigning here? We know why Trump's campaigning here. They boosted the campaigning here because they know that Hicks are on their side. But why is Biden
here's the
campaigning?
thing. So there's another part to that. So Donald Trump pulled like, what was it, like 3 or 4 million out of ads that he had set aside for Florida, and put that money into Minnesota, which means Minnesota is now a battleground state for the first time in a very long time.
This is the second time this year, huh?
Yeah. Battleground, huh?
That's dude, low key, like think about what could happen tonight. Like I feel like if there's any year and any Halloween that the purge happens, it's this year.
No.
Not like the purge verbatim, but some
like people
wild
just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. But the one thing that kind of concerns me is what happens if Minnesota does turn red. People are not going to be very happy.
Yeah. But at the same time, like we know the people here that will be happy, and those people have guns. It's
true.
like liberals don't like guns. Like we're gonna keep winning as long as you keep not liking guns.
Guns is one issue though, but I mean, think about it. We need a new, like, I just totally lost my train of thought from that. Who's the big hoss of Minnesota? What's his name? Tim Walz.
Mm-hmm.
He's up for being reelected, like, what, 2 years from now? Is that right?
It's definitely within 2 years.
Hold on, let me just fact check myself.
If I'm not wrong, governors get elected. No, that's Congress.
Yeah, 2022 is the next governor like election cycle.
Mhm.
Um so as we know, you and I, because we're not sheep, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, is absolutely just really bad at his job. Uh he's put in a
Was it
lot of
Tim Walz that did the thing about defunding the police? Where he was like, yeah, where he was like
Yep.
persuaded by a crowd. That was Tim Walz.
No, that was Cuomo in New York.
No. It wasn't in New York. It was definitely here. It was just I might be wrong, actually.
No, the Supreme Court of Minnesota voted to disband the police of Minneapolis,
No, it
or
was like
some kind of
it was
committee.
a mayor, I think.
It might have been the mayor of Minneapolis, who knows? But what was I gonna say? Basically, Tim Walz is extremely far left, like the whole spiel, mandatory mask, order, which, I mean, you know what? I don't really care. Mask up. I don't give a crap. Um, but he takes a lot of very far left stances, and if he decides to run for re-election, which he most likely will, if Minnesota goes red for the presidential elections, Democrats are going to turn out really hard for governor elections, which means we'll probably get another leftist governor, which is, I mean, the president affects us a lot less than the governor does, on a state level. You know what I mean?
Have you seen California's new COVID rules?
No, and I don't care about California.
Dude, it's the wildest shit. No singing for more than 2 hours or something.
What?
No singing crowds. Dude,
Huh.
it's so bunk.
That just sounds like anti-church rule to me.
Yep. You know what I've noticed? We'll leave this to the end because it's actually a little philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
But America worships ego. That's their god.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little deeper on that maybe later. But okay, 2020 election. Some news today. United States, Trump administration, actually more specifically, they're credited for this. Sends, how much was it? I can't even open the image. Killing myself. $2.37 billion in arms to Taiwan, which broken down is a really big anti-China move. If you read the article, I didn't link the article because I didn't want to, but if you read it, it says like that it should whatever kind of weapon it is, it's enough to stop half of an attack on Taiwan from China. Like it specifically mentioned China in the anti-Taiwan, like that's who the arms are intentionally used against. But that was just a neat piece of news. $2.37 billion isn't a small amount of money by any means.
Yeah. That's a
But
lot, actually.
I like that we're funding Taiwan against China.
Oh, I agree. I think China's. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, China's washed out.
China is what it is,
It's a communist republic. It's
Yeah.
communists. We know
And-
about communists, da. We don't like communists.
Yeah, I'm also just sick of talking about China. It's apparent to everybody who's not like a liberal that China like genuinely should be stopped, because I mean the lot of the stuff that they're doing to their people is just absolutely ridiculous, like social credit scores and just there's a lot of stuff. I'm
Bro,
blanking right now, but
if
just
you
absolutely like an evil regime,
if you really want to, like, okay, from both of our experiences with communism, we literally despise the idea of it invading America because we escaped that shit and we're in the Holy Land that was protected from communism.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, every time my phone goes off is an idea, but getting back to the subject at hand, um, communism from our perspective. Just listen to my perspective on this from what my parents told me. Under communist rule, they were too busy trying to dominate the world with communism, and they neglected their people. They neglected their people through famine. Your webcam went off.
Oh, one sec.
Anyways, they neglected their people through famine, and because of that, people were hungry. And this is gonna get dark. This is a literal trigger warning. Click away. Holodomor is an event. Hold on, it says it in Russian. I pronounced it wrong because it's written in English, but it says it in Russian. Holodomor. Goldomor is it sounds like something from Wizard of Oz or Harry Potter.
Doesn't that mean hunger?
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. It was a famine, and central and eastern Ukraine. The highlight of this famine, it was caused by communism, and people ate their fucking kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that being said,
after their kids would die, most of the times when their kids would die of hunger, they
people
would go
would
and
eat their kids. Period. So that's why we don't like communism. So Trump administration sending 2.37 bill to Taiwan to fight to be prepared against defending themselves.
Yeah.
So that was some good news today. A little bit more good news for the. Oh, sorry, you wanted to say something? My bad.
Oh no, I was just taking a breath.
Why you gotta
Don't
breathe
trip.
all the time? Next up, Iran is the first country to officially, in political matters, use Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's because they got some sanctions put on them, and they're trying to curb them sanctions, so they're using Bitcoin.
That's
very good news for me. For anyone that matched that fog. Did you buy that fog machine? No, you didn't. But did you end up matching it anyways?
No.
Lamb.
Because I didn't buy it.
Fair, but lamb.
I don't know. I'm still not sold on Bitcoin.
You don't have to be. In fact, I hope people aren't sold on it so I can buy it for this cheap. Vonker. But speaking of Bitcoin, I want you, not you personally, but I want the listener to think about whenever you listen to this, think about 2020 election. The markets were so unsure, they were so down. How much down exactly were they? I don't know. They were down. They were red, bro. And for the majority of 2020, Bitcoin and SPY, they were like aligned together. Like they were moving along the same like trajectory.
You don't think that was just coincidence?
No.
And just how the markets move?
Why would like an equities value be a coincidence? Coincidence, I guess, to a degree, yes, but it's a coincidence.
Well, I don't mean coincidence. I mean like, you know, the markets go down, Bitcoin also goes down.
That's the thing. The markets went down. The Bitcoin. That's what it used to be. In the COVID crash, Bitcoin went down just as hard as stonks. But in the 2020 election, people are buying up Bitcoin instead of buying up stocks. They're selling stocks to buy Bitcoin.
And what's the reasoning behind that?
It's a safe store of value.
I would not call Bitcoin a safe store of value.
Over time, anything's safe. 1 kilogram of cocaine is safe over like 10 years.
True, but Bitcoin is definitely not a safe store of value. And you can't convince me not otherwise. Try and tell me that Bitcoin is safe.
I will tell you that I could literally buy a kilogram of cocaine with Bitcoin though.
Okay, but that doesn't mean anything. It's still not a safe store of value. Bitcoin itself is not safe. It's extremely volatile.
That's up to interpretation, honestly. I'm not even going to argue that. I just hope. Sorry.
Do you see what I'm saying though? Like, saying that Bitcoin is a safe store of value is extremely misleading because you know yourself.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess if you're thinking about it in the short term, yeah, you definitely shouldn't invest. If you don't like seeing your money go down, you shouldn't buy Bitcoin. You shouldn't buy stocks.
That's not even the point. That's not even the point I'm trying to make. Saying that it's a goods even long term is also misleading because you have no idea what Bitcoin is going to do.
Yeah, I don't want to say I don't want to say that it's where you should put your money by any means.
Like, saying Disney is a safe store of value, I would agree. Disney is going to stick around for a very long time.
They have.
You know, they have and they will. I mean, same thing with like Amazon, dude. Amazon is going to be around for a very long time. Tesla is going to be around for a very long time.
I
With
don't know about
Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies haven't been proven, as of yet.
well,
And we're going to have
so
cryptocurrencies come and go,
just give it time.
you know?
Give it
Like, of
time.
course, but I would say right now, investing purely into Bitcoin is like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, basically.
Don't do that. That's stupid.
Yep. All I'm trying to say is it's not safe. So if you're putting money into Bitcoin, same thing like holding money in an American, dollar.
Venezuelan whatever. It's
There's always that chance of it crashing and tumbling down. With Bitcoin, it's slightly higher because at the end of the day, it is cryptocurrency.
and you
You
can
know how
always
those tend to
EMP.
go. Yeah.
But at the same time, anybody that's born, chances are the cards are stacked against them. So your entire life, you're just bleeding money. So if you have $20 here and there, you might as well take a risk.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
mean,
fair enough.
people made lots of money on Bitcoin. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
people will
the
make
people
lots
who
of money
bought
on
it.
anything. There's always someone smarter than you and will figure out a way to do it better.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was this one guy when I went to a Bible school back in, like, I want to say 2012, maybe even 2011. This dude had a Bitcoin wallet of like, I think $900. It was like 100 and something Bitcoins. It was back when it was like, less than $100, I'm pretty sure, per Bitcoin.
And he spent it on
And
pizza.
he did, but also, well, he bought like stolen credit cards and stuff. Anyways, um, nowadays the homie's balling with like a couple million in Bitcoin. You know,
Yeah.
like
You
he
know
was
what
just
sucks,
on the
bro?
wave before us.
We all had that moment that we could have hopped on the boat, bro. I literally told my parents to open an account just so I could get $200 into Bitcoin. But I was like
Mm,
14 and they didn't trust me, so happens.
yeah. Um, but basically, my whole point of this whole spiel that I went on, um, Bitcoin is like, it seems like a good idea, and short term, actually, it might even be a pretty good idea. Long term, however, keeping and storing Bitcoin, and holding on to it is probably not great just because of how extremely volatile it is. It hit that peak back in, what was it, 2016?
I'd have like $10,000 if I
Did it peak in 2016? Is that when that was?
18.
18, yeah. When it hit like 16K or whatever.
2017, December 15th, 2017.
Yeah. Um it hit that peak and it's just been on a decline, and like, yeah, it could peak again, but then again, you're going to hold on to it even longer cuz pulling out Bitcoin is annoying. Um
What do you mean?
Actually, it's not as bad as it used to be, never mind.
All you do is sell.
Yeah, well, you know how it used to be.
Yeah,
You'd have to buy
it
something
used to
physical.
be a day and a half.
Yeah.
Literally though, like you wouldn't have cash until a day and a half later because I had to like verify the bitcoins and it was like 4 6 cycles or whatever it's called. It was
Yeah.
annoying. From 20 years from now, they won't get what we had to go through to get our hands on this shit. They just get to have it tattooed on their wrist and forehead.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Do you think cryptocurrency could be that?
Anything could be that.
Yeah, but if there's anything that's more likely to be, that would be Bitcoin. It's a well-known,
It could be the US dollar
somewhat trusted.
if they just made it illegal to use the paper notes. It could be the US dollar. It's it's nothing I'm concerned about because um there's always going to be people that are more dependent on someone than I am and people that are less dependent on someone than I am. So trying to time that is, I don't know. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be out though.
of course. All right, what did we have next? I think we've definitely gone on our Bitcoin spiel for the
Yeah,
day.
whatever. People have heard me about Bitcoin.
Let's talk about Biden saying there's gonna be 200,000 more deaths.
Let's
if he's
save
not
that for
elected.
the end because I'm titling this one the 2020 election.
Okay. You wanted to talk about Starlink?
Yeah, I'm down to talk about Starlink.
So if I'm not mistaken, Starlink is the internet provider, right?
It's like a subcategory of SpaceX.
Yeah, they have satellites and they want to get worldwide internet coverage. So we've talked about this a little bit before, and I've kind of shared my thoughts, but I'll just refresh for anybody who didn't hear that episode.
Speaking of what we did before, your mic is a lot better now.
Thank you. I know I fixed it. Thank you. So with Starlink, my thoughts are it's nowhere close to being where it needs to be. It's literally it's nowhere near where it needs to be. I mean, what is it, like 13 megs per second or 20 or something like that? Like absolutely garbage.
Like between 20 and 150.
I've never seen 150. I saw that they said 150 by 2024.
Did you see? It's in these notes for a reason. It's recent. It's open now. It's an open beta. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, your Xfinity and your
existing at the, what's it called? Infrastructure
provider.
Internet provider infrastructure is catered to you right now. Like America's is trash already, so that's why it's better for us to jump on SpaceX while it's cheap. Because right now, so the reason it's on this list is there is some recent news about it, and I'm a big like fan of SpaceX. Their news was that their open beta is open. It costs $100 a month, and it's dog shit. It's literally just to be like one of the first people to adopt it. It's 20 to 150 megabits, and it's very variable.
Megabytes, not bits.
Megabytes.
Yep.
I don't know.
Bits is smaller.
Yeah, I know. But internet providers in America like to
interchange the two.
The two. Yeah.
They'll tell you, 1,000 megabits per second. It's like, yeah, okay, bud.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that blazing fast internet.
Woo! Zoom.
Okay, so if you don't know what Starlink is, imagine like a grid, and every intersect on that grid is a satellite, and that satellite is beaming internet down on the planet, and it's an entire grid around the globe, so everybody's getting internet. Because the satellites, they have to just keep returning to the same spot over and over again. They just have to not hit each other, and everybody has internet.
From what I understand, the plan is to have it be, priced at first high, to have more money to send out more satellites, get better coverage. And eventually, I think the plan is for it to be free, open internet everywhere for everyone. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's gonna be free.
I'm pretty sure I read something. I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass, but from what I understood, my bad. Is that basically what the plan was? Is to overcharge at first, give more money for R&D, get the infrastructure out there, and then eventually it'll be extremely cheap or free internet in some places.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I think like any other corporation does, they're going to price it based on market.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually Starlink will be one of those things that makes that market price drop down significantly. Because,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna get better for us. It's competition. Competition's always healthy.
because right now, internet in America is fairly monopolized. Like in my area, I have two service providers. One is absolute garbage, 8 megabytes per second.
Mm.
Download. That's ridiculous for 6 people in a house, 7 people in a household. That's ridiculous. It's better to use data at that point. So, I mean, and the other one is fiber optic, 1 gig per second. So it's like there is no choice there. So in that case, Spectrum has a monopoly in my area. And they can charge literally whatever they want because nobody is going to go with CenturyLink at 8 megs per second.
Yeah.
Like,
We're as Americans, we're definitely far behind the cutting edge of consumer Wi-Fi. I definitely
I
think
mean,
South Korea has it better.
South Korea by far has, I mean, their internet is extremely cheap, right?
Shout out to South Korea, bro. I just have I have a good feeling about them.
Yeah. A little off topic, but still on South Korea. Did you hear that Kim Jong-un is asking to
Yep.
reunite North and South Korea?
Heard that.
Do you know anything about that?
No, obviously. I how do you feel about Kim Jong-un?
To be honest, I've never really seen him as like a terrible person.
I hate to say it, but like I don't know. I say that I'll never like cast judgment on Elon Musk until I've had a beer with him. Like same thing goes for Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He inherited a communist government system where he's
Which
the
happens.
dictator.
Sometimes you inherit a government communist.
No, okay, look, so he inherited it, right? Like his dad was the supreme ruler.
Supreme Reader.
So he inherited it, right? He was born into it. Not much he can do. But he is trying to do the best for his country. Like, nuclear weapons testing, I get it. Like, it's not good, but I get it because, guess what? Think about it this way. You're the leader of some small country, and every single country hates you and wants you off the face of the planet. Right?
Wait, hot take?
Why would you not want protection for yourself? Why shouldn't you have the right to mutually assured destruction just like every other country? Right?
Yeah.
Because Russia and America have mutually assured destruction. Same thing with America and China.
Does Korea have nuclear weapons?
I'm not sure about South Korea, but why does North Korea not have the option for mutually assured destruction either? They're a sovereign nation. They should be able to do what they want. Now, obviously, if they step out of line and launch a missile at somebody, obviously wipe them off the face of the planet. But at the end of the day, everyone deserves a sovereign nation should have the right to self-preservation without somebody else pushing in on their borders when they have nothing to do with them. Like, why does America have anything to do with North Korea?
Good guys finish last. Well, the hot take, bro. Hot take. The media is lying
About
North Korea. Instead of nuclear weapons, what if the news was North Korea figures out the safest possible nuclear energy?
Nuclear energy is already very safe.
Yeah, it is. It is very safe. But like, what if that was the? What if North Korea just did something really good for the globe?
I mean, that would be their way in to join with the world stage.
And I'm sure if I was the leader of said communist nation, I would have maybe figured that out by now, and I would have definitely leveraged that in my negotiations with any other countries.
Yeah. Here's the thing with North and South Korea. So what I see happening, and this is just me speaking out of my ass, don't take this literally by any means.
Of course not.
North Korea is trying to rebuild. Kim Jong-un specifically, he knows. I'm assuming that he grew up knowing communism is just terrible and doesn't work. And is just trying to do right by his people. Yeah, he had people assassinated, but guess what? You're in a screwed up communist system, and there's people trying to. This is what I see as the most likely because I like to see good in people. I'm assuming he's been trying to end the whole communist thing for a long time now, and relatives were saying nope, we're staying communist, and that's why he had them assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what makes sense to me, because to be honest, everyone calls him Rocket Man, whatever. He seems somewhat rational.
Yeah, I'd say he's rational for sure. Because
he's definitely not the bumbling idiot that everyone makes him out to be. He's definitely a smart person, and I
could probably name 5 leaders that are worse than him, so it's not that bad.
Xi Jinping, number 1. Just had
Prince
to throw
Harry,
that out there.
number 2.
But yeah, so my thing with North Korea is that I'm assuming that this whole merger with South Korea has been in the works for a long time, and I see it happening within the next 5 years that, North and South Korea become just Korea.
It'll be interesting what that looks like because I feel like just removing North and South will make a lot of people just will cause too much attention, to say the least. Given that there's so many boomers that would panic.
No, because look, first of all, South Korea is an ally of the U.S., very good ally, by the way. Very, very close. The two countries are constant trade.
We raised ideas. That kid.
Yeah.
We bought all they Samsung phones, bro. Our degenerates, the degenerates of our country built their country.
The broke boys of America built South Korea. No. So, say that North and South Korea merge, right? I'm assuming that America would be a very good ally of Korea as a whole because, as we know right now, Donald Trump has a pretty good relationship with Kim Jong-un, as well as, I forget the name of the leader of South Korea, but...
Yo. Remember that time he winked at that one girl?
Who?
She was on Trump's team, but Kim Jong-un just winked at her, and Trump was like, "Yeah, just deal with it." That was the story.
I did not hear about that, no. But so we would have a really good ally, very close to China. Do you see where I'm going here?
I do see where you're going here.
Because right now, North Korea is an ally of China. However, I see that changing.
Hold on. And Japan.
Japan is one of our allies, right?
I don't know. They just seem like a neutral country right now.
After we dropped the bombs and they became anime boys.
Yeah, we simped them.
Yeah. Basically, I'm pretty sure Japan would bend over for America. That's besides the point. North Korea and South Korea merging would become Korea. Korea would be an ally of the U.S. U.S. military troops stationed in Korea. I could see that turning into a conflict with China.
Yeah, I can.
Are you following my train of thought? I'm not explaining it well, but.
Yeah, it's difficult to follow. I feel like what you're saying is the tension will increase when America presence is close.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly it.
Tensions are always there's a word for this. They used it in the movie Dunkirk, where they just have this loop of audio where it's just building suspense and suspense and suspense, but it's the perfect amount of chords or notes or whatever the fuck, and it's just an infinite suspense building music.
I know what you're talking about. I know how to do that. Basically what it is so you have a low note, a mid note, and a high note, And so the high note is pitching down to the pitch of the low note. The low note is pitching up to the note of the mid note, and the mid note is pitching up to the note of the high note.
Oh.
So it's this perpetual loop of build up with a very subtle build down. And so it's just a continuous loop of upwards, what feels like upwards in pitch, which, usually is that sense of, suspense building up. It's a super interesting, like, audio
it's
trick.
the most interesting thing human bodies. They're just so
You saw
weird.
the same video I did, huh?
Yeah, I did.
So take that, but instead of audio, it's throwing troops into Korea.
Can't do that with video. I've said so many times. I just empty words, huh?
Yeah.
How about
could we take a break for like 5 minutes?
1, 2, 3.
I want to be part of the cool kids club, bro.
Why NASA, Boeing, and Bezos? Why NASA, Boeing, Bezos, and Musk have a lot riding on the U.S. election?
I'm listening.
I didn't even think about this, bro. So Trump wants to cut direct funding to NASA.
NASA, yep.
In order to support commercial development.
I actually watched a video
sector.
on this yesterday. Yep. I want to talk about this a lot.
Yeah, let's do it. I like space.
This is a super, super interesting topic. I love talking about space travel.
Not too long though, because we're at 40 minutes, so 20 minutes.
Yep. Okay, so NASA, in the reusable space shuttle flight that they used, it was around $1.2 billion per launch, right? That's what it came out to be. The entire project was like $203 billion, I think, and they'd launched just over 100 times. So it ended up being about $1 billion per launch.
And
Tesla's Crew Dragon ended up being 200 million per launch. Think about that price disparity.
That's a big, and their shit is reusable.
Far more reusable than...
It's reusable, period.
Yeah. So now think about what SpaceX has planned. They want to get that pre-launch price down to $4 million.
That would be amazing.
By 2030. So that would be 1/100th of the budget for one flight of NASA.
Here's my take on this though. How does SpaceX make money?
Government contracts.
Government contracts, you say? I heard that Trump was trying to cancel funding for NASA.
Yeah, and give contracts out to commercial.
Oh, he wants to give contracts out to commercial directly?
That's
his plan?
That's the whole
this
point.
This is very paraphrased, the thread I'm on.
The whole point of defunding NASA completely and going commercial is to give contracts to, commercial space flight. That way, first of all, the US, taxpayer is saving a lot of money because NASA is an extremely bloated program.
Very, very bloated.
Way too expensive because they pay their people way too much, whereas SpaceX can.
Does he know he can stay? Whatever.
You can stay. We're just talking about SpaceX.
But you have to turn your webcam on.
Yeah.
I thought
we are filming a podcast. So SpaceX is extremely cheap compared to NASA. So defunding NASA and having the taxpayer pay for a portion of SpaceX's endeavors is a great idea.
Because, like you said, what was it, 2.1 billion?
No, it was 1.2 billion per launch for NASA.
1.2 billion versus 200 million. Think about it. If we just deleted NASA nasa.exe. No, if we just deleted nasa.exe, we could cut the space budget by half, redistribute that the half that we cut off, and still make it more profitable for private sector.
Yeah. Well, thing is, SpaceX would not only take government contracts, they would obviously be doing private stuff as well.
Like internet.
Internet is one thing, or just private space travel. Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Also, SpaceX is going to be the first company to do mining in space. They want to go mining on the moon.
That's a big one. Yeah, I'm very deep into that. That's why gold for the short term, Bitcoin for the long.
Mining in space is going to make
Hold on, before
materials.
let's explain that one to the people.
Okay.
So
Explain what specifically?
Space mining. It's pretty simple, but
okay. So, say there's an asteroid coming within 100 million miles, of Earth. You send a space shuttle out there with a crew of like 5 people with tons of automated equipment. And this is obviously when space travel becomes a lot faster, which the rate at which we're traveling in space is
think
like
about Model
doubling
T.
every like 15 years.
Like Model T was like capped out at like 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, now we can hit 300 miles an hour. Yeah, so you get a crew and say that that asteroid is full of lithium. And it's more than the entire Earth has. And you bring that back. Lithium is now useless, quote unquote. Except it's not useless because now we have an unlimited supply of lithium to use on whatever we want. Now, some may say this is going to cause inflation of prices and then deflation of prices significantly. However, it's going to make stuff super cheap, which opens up, room to make new stuff for super cheap, which at the end of the day makes things really nice for the buyer.
It's capitalism at its okay. Like if we had a small village and we used gold as a measure of value, and I just found a brick. Like, well, we all had ounces, and I just found like a pound of gold. That might switch around the prices, but I feel like with something as like lithium, where it isn't a store of value, where it's a what's the word?
It's a
I'm looking
resource.
for? Yeah, sure, resource. Then it only cheapens things.
Right, or like even gold. So gold is used on lots of electronics because,
But no, like if
Of
we
it-
found the point being, if we found gold, that's what would fuck the prices.
yeah, but also that opens up room to, supercomputing being extremely cheap because guess what? One of the primary costs of supercomputers is the fact that you need lots of gold to make a supercomputer. And that opens up the road to AI, which means math problems to travel in space faster can be done with a supercomputer and not by hand.
You know what quantum computing is, right? Look at
Yeah.
that. Did you hear that? That was crazy, wasn't it? Do we have one? A quantum computer?
Computers,
Google's
like
trying to develop one.
rudimentary
Google and
stuff,
IBM
yeah.
are the two ones that might have what we're looking for.
Hold on.
I think I'm like 90% sure Google has one. I actually like Google as a company. They look
IBM
solid.
has quantum computers.
IBM talked shit on Google though. Google said, yeah. So we made this quantum computer, and if we did this on our regular supercomputers, it would have taken like 128 years or something. And IBM was like, on our computers, it would have taken 4.
Yo, you know the brand Honeywell?
Yeah,
They make like everything.
yeah, I know them.
They also make quantum computers.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I want to check some though.
Honeywell.
Go on.
I would not expect that. That's just. I know them for like making thermostats and like home security
Who touched the
stuff.
thermostat? Who touched the thermostat? What do they hold? I feel like if okay, so previously I talked about like AI, and I was like, how do you make money on AI? You buy the computers that it's on. And
Mhm.
to buy the computers that it's on, you need like AMD, Nvidia, Qualcomm, all the chip makers. They all go into this trust fund in ETF, and it's called SMH. Shake my head. It's a semiconductor ETF. I think I own one of them, but I'm trying to see what's in it because imagine if Honeywell's in it.
It probably is.
But I want to make sure. Um, how do you Google what's in an index? Oh, SMH holdings. Quantum computers though. So you know about quantum computers, how they like it's our computers are 1 or 0. Theirs is 1, 0 or both.
Yep.
So with that, like you can like reverse combo lock, right?
Mhm. That's the
Yeah,
first issue.
and
Yeah.
quantum computing hasn't been like fully solved because it involves a lot of like superposition stuff
What's
and
a
a lot of
Yeah.
like,
superposition?
well,
That's
I
the
learned this once in science class. Like it's something to do with like molecules and like them being able to be two places at once, to
Mm,
superposition them. It's
no.
like super
Okay. So
complex and huge.
superposition is where so you have a molecule on one side of the Earth and another one on the other side of the Earth. If they, I forgot what the term is called, but basically they're like binded together. And if you
Yeah.
make a change to one on this side of the planet, the other one on the other side of the planet will show the exact same change, like instantaneously.
Yes, correct. You're
So
correct.
theoretically, the idea is that you could make internet with that idea with 0 ping everywhere all at once.
Maxwell or Honeywell is not on the SMH.
Shaking my head.
But
And I remember like in science class, we would all be worried about like, oh, the government's gonna control our computers with quantum computing and all that crap, if they can have it at two places at once.
You, it's not there.
Yeah, probably never will.
It will be.
it will be.
It's just somebody needs to invest enough money into it.
Me.
Trillions of dollars into R&D.
Lots of me's.
Yeah. But let's talk about nuclear power. We kind of touched on that earlier.
Well, let's just keep the
Why?
2020 election. Recent
Okay,
news,
fine.
because I'm trying to do this more consistently, so any like bigger things I can actually like write down and like have solid points on. But anything like topical, like new, like frequency based, I
Mhm.
guess. I want to wrap them shits up, and if we really want to talk about nuclear power, we can talk about nuclear power.
Okay.
So last couple things is I was really happy to see Alex Jones on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Mhm. Yeah, me too.
That
On Spotify.
I was as a holder of the company, that was really nice to see. Like politics aside, it's really nice to see that they embrace free market voices. They really understand the creators and the consumers. Like I feel like Apple would have censored Alex Jones, which is why I have faith in Spotify.
Yeah. Although Spotify is getting backlash for having him on.
That's fine.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily just because Spotify has, well, most telecom, not telecom. What is
I don't entertainment.
most entertainment companies will bend over for the left side of consumers.
Most entertainment companies are private.
Not no. No.
Streaming services are the only ones that you can like really have volume on.
Like everything entertainment is public.
Like
Netflix,
the
Disney,
streaming services, right?
the streaming services, but what other kind of entertainment is there?
TikTok, YouTube.
It TikTok is a special case just because it's a Chinese company still.
YouTube is Google.
Google.
Wait, what was
which
the
is traded.
question?
What entertainment companies are not public?
Oh, well, production houses. Okay, define
Those are under
entertainment.
parent. Those
Define
are under parent companies which are publicly
That's
traded.
true.
like who?
Like every studio in Hollywood is under like either Time Warner or something
Disney.
else,
For real.
Stuff like
Disney, which means they're all under a parent company, which means they're all publicly traded. The
Huh.
entire entertainment business is all publicly traded.
So when an app comes out that's a little different and is also publicly traded, what does that mean?
What I don't understand your question.
I don't understand the point actually. I think we're all going in different directions.
How do we get on this topic?
I don't know. I just liked Alex Jones on Spotify.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about how consumers will complain about Alex Jones being on the show.
Oh, no, the problem with them was that the employees were complaining. The consumers weren't complaining. Because the consumers were complaining about what they thought was censoring.
Okay, yeah.
Fair?
Well, employees can
Be replaced. Consumers can't.
yeah. Although consumers can be replaced too.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
They can.
When you bend
Okay,
over
when I
for one
think-
side of the political aisle, that certain political aisle will be your new consumer.
Man, why are you thinking about this binarily, bro? I want everybody to be my consumer.
Yeah, but you're not the owner of Spotify.
I'm the owner of Chess Club.
Okay, but Netflix bent over for the left, correct? Lots of right people left, right-leaning people left, and yet they're still doing
What do you
really
mean
well.
left? Stop
As in,
consuming?
yeah,
So they won't
unsubscribe.
replace those people. They'll just keep the people that were the left ones.
Yeah, and now people
no
who are on
more
the left will,
leftists
out of
joined.
spite. That's not the case. I mean,
guess
you
we'll
don't know
see.
that for sure.
I mean earnings, but sure.
What was their earnings? They seem to be pretty
Bad.
stable from.
It was bad. I literally posted it on that Snapchat. I said, "Wow, so looks like people canceled their subscriptions, huh? Maybe you shouldn't support pedophiles, huh?"
I mean, they're only down.
I can't name one Joe Rogan guest that's a pedophile. Ironic, isn't it?
What's funny is they're only down like 6%, which is well within the means of.
Oh, that's earnings. I'm. Last time they were down, everything was down.
Yeah, their stock is not hurting whatsoever. A little bit, but not.
I don't care about their
Significantly.
stock price. Everybody, like retards, can determine their stock price, regardless. But it's their numbers that dude. Why is my Safari not working? Oh shoot, dude, my Mac is crashing.
Imagine using.
Imagine.
Mac.
Oh, okay. I just got like 10 tabs. Perfect. Dang, I guess Apple really doesn't want me looking into the numbers of Netflix. Last thing, thoughts on Kanye?
Hold on. Before that, so they reported 6.4 billion in revenue with an operating cost of 1.3 billion.
Hold on, say
How's
that
that
again?
bad?
Oh shoot. Okay, now it just
They
crashed.
they
Does it
reported.
really take 1.3 billion to operate it?
Yeah, you got to upkeep servers. You got to pay employees. I assume most of the cost is in upkeep of servers.
I assumed that most of it was in like production of like their own originals and stuff.
Well, that too. I mean, 1.32 billion is kind of not a lot for keeping a company running, especially of that magnitude.
And what was their revenue?
They reported 6.44 billion in revenue.
What was their last quarter? Or what was the quarter before last quarter?
But
Actually, I'd
they
like to
took
be
the same revenue.
more researched before I comment on Netflix. Point being, how do you feel about
They took-
Kanye?
They took the same revenue, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, one last thing. I'm sorry. Apparently Texas is indicting Netflix on cuties.
Oh
Finally.
yeah. That's happening.
Yeah, it's been a thing for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, it has, but still,
I'm
because
just
it's
curious
here.
what's happening there in those court cases. How
Cr-
they're explaining their point of view.
Crazy how that
Uh,
state is supposedly gonna vote blue, huh?
Imagine. Kanye, I don't know anything because I barely watched the episode. I didn't finish it.
Well, we can skip over
Oh.
that, but I want to mention
I've
that
seen it.
Gap released their plan with Yeezy. Basically, what they're gonna do is like, okay, so you know how you can literally own a Subway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that with Gap stores now and sell
That's
Yeezy
that's been a thing for a long time.
and sell Yeezy.
Well, not Yeezy, but specifically owning a Gap store.
Gap has been a franchise.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
Almost all retail stores are
No.
franchises.
It's,
Also, no.
I could go own a Target if I want to.
no.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
You obviously have to become part of the corporate structure, but you can become like a quote unquote franchisee. It's not the same word, but if I want to, I can go to Target corporate, say I want to pay for the building, I want to own my own Target store.
it's just a scheme. It's just this Ponzi scheme. But okay, so Gap, they're gonna start franchising the Yeezy line. Do you think that'll kill it or save it? Or not save it, doesn't need saving actually.
Uh,
I don't
I
think
think
it'll
that's
kill
a
it.
general good for Gap.
A general good for Gap.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a solid win direction.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Apparently, it's like investment of 500,000 to open up a Gap franchise.
Yeah, but
That doesn't
That's-
include stock and everything else. That's just to get the franchise. Or
Just
the
to
rights
get
to
everything up and running.
it. No, that's to get the rights to it.
To get the rights to the store.
To operate it, yeah.
and then you still gotta build the store.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
hire people.
I hate to like snitch. I hate to snitch. But at the same time, they haven't been showing me much love, so I'm gonna have to do it to them. Drug dealers are gonna use Gap stores to launder money.
What?
Through the Yeezy boxes.
No, through returns.
You could use anything to launder anything. I don't see what your point is about Gap.
It's the audience tied to a brand.
I'm still not seeing your point.
All right.
No, what I'm saying is like now when every single new Yeezy release, there's gonna be like 800 people outside every Gap store waiting for the new drop to cop and to resell.
And also that means that there's gonna be a lot more Yeezy in general.
Than Gap clothing in general, yeah. Because Yeezys sell way more than that stuff.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it would definitely be interesting to watch. Honestly, I just want to look at the product, see if it's worth buying or not. That's
Well,
honestly, is that too
I
much to
mean-
ask for to see some prototypes?
Well, I heard Kanye on the podcast. He said that some of his like new shoes, he wants to make them as low as like $40 for the
Yeah,
Yeezy brand.
Well, let me tell you this, dude. I bought my first pair of Yeezys, the Boost Max V2s, the Israfils. By far, and when I tell you by far, dude, I literally mean this, the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn in my entire life.
oof.
And I'm no cap. All right. Like,
How
hold
much
up.
did you drop on it?
$250. I got them
Oh,
for
not bad.
retail.
If I'm gonna be getting the best shoes, I'll pay a penny for it too.
These boys right here are by far the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn in my life.
Are you sponsored by them?
No, and I'm just straight up, that's facts, dude, by far. Like, I wear these when I'm playing games.
Wait, but now nobody else can sponsor you.
I don't care.
Okay.
They can sponsor you. I'll
Okay.
take a Yeezy sponsorship.
Yeezy doesn't sponsor anybody.
Not yet.
Okay. True.
I haven't gotten any sponsors yet. Just wait.
Well, man. Well, okay. I'm gonna make a Patreon, and every dollar that I get through that Patreon, I'm literally gonna make an account on I'll make another Robinhood account and I will invest every single dollar. Okay, so from what I can
What would be the point of that?
money.
Free money.
For free real estate to a
No, I
degree.
mean like, why would people want to give you money to invest?
I have no idea. But dude, I've seen a couple YouTube streams and the amount of money that people just give out is ridiculous.
But what are people getting out of it?
They feel good.
No, I'm just trying to help you think through a solid plan.
Okay.
What are people receiving for their donation in Patreon?
A T-shirt.
Left-handed
sticker.
pencil.
Some will do it for.
A left-handed pencil.
What are you charging for a left-handed pencil?
$1.
Can you get a pencil for $1?
You can get a pencil for a couple cents.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure you have a solid plan.
Come on. All right, one last thing. Just to wrap it up. Biden says that there will be 200,000 deaths if he's not elected.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like he gonna kill them himself or through coronavirus or?
I feel like that. My interpretation of that is as a threat, saying that like, listen to me. We don't negotiate with terrorists. This Trump, this orange bad Trump man, terrorist. He is keeping you locked down. If I get elected, everything open. No more COVID. I give you vaccine. No more COVID. Very easy.
Why are you talking in an accent when Joe Biden's an American?
Because he deals with Ukraine.
Oh, I got you.
Hey, this is the boy Andre. The last piece, my recording software crashed, so I'm just gonna leave you with the little post production monologue. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I hope the abrupt stop doesn't distract you. I hope your election was safe. It is now Wednesday. Election was yesterday. As I called out earlier in the episodes, we won't know. We won't know until someone gets sued who the real president is, because manipulation. We won't know who the real president is until probably like January. What needs to happen is they need to count the ballots that were mailed in. That needs to happen first. And then that will change who the real president is. So right now, I feel like Trump is in the lead. I don't even know. On election night, I went to bed. I didn't even think about it because I know nobody was going to win. The only thing I cared about was Prop 22, which went through. So Uber is now good to go. But I slept through elections. I don't even know who's in the lead, if there is a lead even. I know that Trump will, on paper, look like president, and then they'll count the ballots, and then they'll go like, no, Biden's the real president, and then either Trump will declare victory and Biden will sue him, or Biden will declare victory and Trump will sue him. Either way, it's going to the Supreme Court, just like it did in, I think it was 2000, actually. Should be like 2000, the year 2000, Bush versus Gore. History repeats itself. We're on a loop. So it's going to go to the Supreme Court. We just nominated Amy Coney Barrett, but we're going to hope the Dems haven't packed the court by then. Snapchat's holding up right now. Bitcoin is holding up surprisingly well through these elections. Like, it hasn't faltered. It's stayed around 13, 14,000. So keep an eye on that. Make sure you're setting money where you need to set it. Make sure you're retracting money from where you need to retract it. Make sure you're on top of your game. And as always, make sure you listen harder. Thanks for listening, guys.